Well, we begin the news with the Workers' Day story as Nigerians join the world to celebrate Workers' Day, also known as May Day. It is a day set aside to honor the contributions of workers to the nation's economy. The federal government has declared today a public holiday in recognition of this important occasion, with the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, commending workers for their diligence and sacrifice and urging peace and productivity to drive economic growth. However, this year's celebration comes amid severe economic challenges since the floating of the naira and the removal of the fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu's administration. The cost of living has more than doubled, with inflation hitting 23.18% overall and food inflation soaring to 40.1% as of March 2025. These economic pressures have deepened the hardship for many Nigerian workers who face unsafe working conditions, mass layoffs, and low wages. Some Nigerian workers share their May Day message to Nigerians and the government.
Area Council, we are not happy. I am saying we are not happy because our entitlement, minimum wage, peculiar allowance, name them, the government are insensitive to apply to the FCT Area Council. They don't pay us our entitlement. Pension deduction, they will deduct pension and they will not pay it to her appropriate quarter. So it's quite alarming. We are not happy in FCT Area Council.
Keep working hard despite the daunting economic challenges. Let's keep working hard. Let's keep putting up our best for the growth and betterment of the country. I believe the head of civil service federation is trying so hard to improve on the welfare of workers. And we hope all the measures he has put in place come to function so that workers can be able to reap the fruit of the labor while still in active service.
The thing we will do today is to make Nigeria happy. We thank God and thank our president with full support to be say long may you reign for him. But we still dey ask for the Nigeria, we ask make it help us. We no get road because if we workers wey we dey follow road, we no get road. Is to help us and make the road be better. Is to help us and make Nigeria to be better.
It's a glorious day. My short message is just for our president and Bola Tinubu to take the issue of worker welfare very, very important. We have been loyal to him, to his government, and he should reciprocate by giving us our welfare and our package, and to inspire us to perform. You understand? So the issue of minimum wage, you schedule it. The issue of just like the circular that was issued by the SGF 2 days ago, that they're going to be paid the balance of minimum wage installment. This is not good. You should pay it in full so that worker will be happy.
And we'll look at this next story. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has pledged the federal government's commitments to foster policies that protect the rights, welfare, and security of maritime workers in the country. Oyetola said this in a statement signed by his media and communications advisor, Bolaji Akinola, in commemoration of this year's Workers' Day celebration. The minister reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to prioritizing investments in infrastructure, technology, and training sessions that would enhance productivity and working conditions in the sector. Oyetola hailed maritime workers across the country for their resilience, dedication, and invaluable contributions towards enhancing the marine and blue economy sector for the growth and sustainability of Nigeria's economy. Still on May Day celebration. Okay, so I am made to understand that even as we continue to celebrate workers today, we have Chinwe Ogele, one of our correspondents who has been interacting with some workers on this special occasion. She'll be sharing updates with us. Chinwe, happy Workers' Day to you. Tell us how the celebration is going down where you are. Hello, Chinwe, can you hear me? Am I on? Yes, you are on. I'd like you to help us understand how workers are celebrating the day where you are.
Okay, workers are here in at the Umuahia camp. And everybody is still awaiting the arrival of the governor for the program to commence in fairness. But I have here with me the chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress here in Abia State. Ogun Governor is here with me. Good to have you.
Thank you.
And happy Workers' Day.
Thank you. A pleasure to all of us.
Okay. Tell me what the Abia worker is celebrating today.
Abia workers are joining the Ogun to celebrate 2025 May celebration.
Okay, so we seem to be having audio issues right there from Abia, of course, with Chiwogele. But we're going to come back to you, Chinwe, to get more details from you. At this particular time, let's see if we can bring Austin Azu, who is currently in Delta State, to share with us how workers are celebrating May Day right there in the state. Austin, over to you.
All right, good afternoon. This is the venue where the Workers' Day celebration is currently holding here in Asaba. That's the Senator, the Delta State capital. Earlier before now, this place was filled up, and the deputy governor represented the governor, where he assured workers in the state. Of course, so many promises. One include housing scheme, and others include transport and rail allowance for those who do overtime and those who are far-reaching in the rural communities. We have the Delta State NLC chairman, Goodluck of Obruku, to share to us some of the demands the workers presented before the state governor. All right, sir. Today is Workers' Day. You presented a lot of issues for the state governor. Can you bring us to speed some of the issues you presented before the state governor? The issues you tabled before the state governor. You say what? The issues you presented before the state governor over the workers' welfare in the state here.
Yes, the state government, Delta State government is trying, but the government promised that they will listen more and do more. So those issues we raise, like low-cost houses for workers. Housing has become a problem in Asaba. Very expensive. Some workers have to be traveling for 45 kilometers to come to work and back every day, risking their lives on the road with the level of insecurity. That's why we are appealing that the state government should look into the issue of low-cost houses for workers. On the issue of pensions, they are trying, but officers of 7 to 17 retired since October 2021 have not been paid. So that's why I say the government, like they are paying other category of officers, they should also pay those workers. We are very, very confident that the government will look into the issues we have raised with a view of resolving them for our members. They have tried in providing decent work environment and providing additional infrastructure for workers to be able to work, but they need to do more for our people, and that is what we have told them.
Okay, one of the issues we are hearing at the moment include that of the primary school teachers intending to go on strike over what they tag as changing them against those that are contemporary in the civil service. You raised it part of their issues. What exactly is wrong with our primary school teachers and their demands, and what was the state governor's response towards this?
The issue is that graduate officers, according to the scheme of service, we start from level 8 and end on level salary grade level 17. But in the primary schools in Delta State, they terminate at level 14. And we are saying no. Those who are graduate officers, not NCE, graduate officers should be allowed to rise up to level 17. And they have promised to look into it with a view to lifting the the stagnation to allow them progress to salary grade level 17. So from next week, we will begin to interface with them to see how that issue will be solved, so that the teachers will not go on strike, thereby disrupting primary education in Delta State.
Okay, lastly, can you please confirm to us if the new minimum wage has been implemented and being, fully paid in the state here?
Yes, the new minimum wage has been implemented in Delta State. What is paid to the least worker in Delta State is 77,500 naira, and those at the peak also get what they are supposed to get. We don't have issues with the minimum wage in Delta. Even the increased pension for pensioners has also been implemented in Delta State.
Thank you very much. That's the state chairman of NLC, Goodluck of Fabroko. We have the convener of Integrity Group, one of those who came to celebrate with the Delta State workers here in Asaba. Okay, Darwin, please bring us to speed. How did you see today's celebration, and what area do you think workers' welfare could be improved upon to ensure they're able to give their best in terms of their productivity?
Yes, I'm very happy to be here. We came in solidarity of the workers and the state government at the same time. We are the Integrity Group of Delta State. We support the more agenda of the governor. And the only way we identify here to support the workers today is that the low-cost housing scheme will be done almost immediately for the workers of Delta State to put in their best. When they have the roof over their head, they can be more settled and do diligently the work of Delta State. So we are happy the governor is doing well for the workers are doing well for the governor, and together we can, together we move. We will keep supporting the more agenda of Delta State.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, we are expecting to see the full implementation of this housing scheme and other demands made before the Delta State government today here at the Workers' Day celebration. Hopefully, in the next coming days or in next year's celebration, we hope to see an applause for the implementation of what the NLC chairman has presented before the state governor.
Thank you so much, Austin, for the details, for, of course, coming around. That's Austin Azu from Delta State. And still on Workers' Day, the Administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Itebas, has reaffirmed his commitment to improving the welfare of workers across the state. This assurance was given during a meeting with the leadership of organized labor unions held at the Government House in Port Harcourt. According to a statement issued by the Senior Special Advisor on Media to the Administrator, Hector Igbokiwobo, the meeting served as a platform for open and constructive dialogue on critical labor matters. The statement outlined key areas of intervention currently being addressed by the government. These, he said, included the timely payment of salaries and pensions, as well as the resolution of salary arrears, with approval already granted for the payment of newly employed workers at the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital and the judiciary. Now, as the nation reflects on over a century of progress, the Nigerian labor movement has remained one of the strongest and loudest voices for workers' rights, built on the sacrifices of men and women who dare to speak truth to power. And our correspondent, Idong Joseph, reviews the union struggles and activities and brings us this report.
In the last century, Nigeria's labor movement has played a vital role in the nation's development, fighting for the rights of workers and ensuring that these rights are not being trampled upon by successive governments. The struggle for labor unionism began as early as 1912 with the Southern Nigeria Civil Service Union and the then merger of the Railway Workers Union with the Nigerian Union of Teachers in 1931. The sacrifices of many of these workers have continued to stand as a beacon of hope. The Railway Workers Movement, which became the first to gain legal recognition after being registered under the Trade Union Ordinance of 1938, gained momentum in the 1940s when workers across Nigeria launched a general strike against colonial rule. Under the leadership of Michael Imodo, the union witnessed significant strides, from demanding higher wages and the casualization of workers to the push for improved working conditions.
The ideals that led to the emergence of the trade union globally were the same ideals that led to the emergence of trade unions in Nigeria.
We note that labor played a central role in the fight, in the struggle against colonial rule, in the struggle against military rule, and then undemocratic governance processes.
The turning point for labor unionism came in 1978 when 4 major labor groups merged to form the Nigerian Labour Congress under the leadership of Wahab Jonathan, a seasoned unionist and former president of the United Labour Congress. However, internal power struggles and political interference led to the premature dissolution of his leadership by military government of General Olusegun Obasanjo. In the wake of that dissolution, Hassan Sumunu, a trained engineer and strong workers' advocate who brought stability to the Congress, was appointed as the substantive president of the NLC. Under his leadership from 1978 to 1984, the NLC launched several campaigns for improved working conditions, including the historic 1981 nationwide strike, demanding a national minimum wage and uniform salary structure that later birthed the first minimum wage acts. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, Nigeria's labor unions became formidable voices for workers' rights, compelling government actions on issues like minimum wage, pensions, and improved working conditions. One prominent name among those who led key struggles is Ali Chiroma, whose leadership opposed the Structural Adjustment Program under military ruler Ibrahim Babangida, which eventually led to the suspension of the union in 1988. Pascal Bafian is immortalized through the National NLC headquarters built during his tenure. Between August and December 1993, the NLC under Bafian led 2 major strikes, first against fuel price hikes, and second, over dissatisfaction with the interim national government set by the then former head of state, Babangida. These actions led to another suspension of the labor movement in 1994 under General Sani Abacha. Adams Oshomole had his most heroic moment as NLC president. Under his leadership, workers embarked on 7 general strikes demanding better wages, resisting deregulation of the oil sector, and pushing back against the continued implementation of the nation's structural adjustment policies. The biggest general strike in post-independence Nigeria occurred under Abdulwahib Umar during the Goodluck Jonathan administration, following the removal of fuel subsidy and a spike in petrol prices. Ironically, Oshomole, then governor of Edo State, helped to broker peace between the protesting labor leaders and the federal government. While the struggles have not been entirely fruitless, many unionists today believe that the government still views unions as adversaries rather than partners in national development.
From beginning till now, didn't you hear how the NSC president was beaten up in Owerri? These are hostilities.
We also remember what happened to the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress while he was on his way to represent Nigerian workers in an international trade union conference going on in UK. We remember the outreach by the whole world and by the Nigerian workers. All these ones are testimonies to how this particular government has treated us.
Despite the numerous setbacks, the labor movement has secured vital gains. But sustaining these victories requires a new kind of resilience and approach.
It is very, very important for labor to continue to organize, working with the civil society organizations, students' union movement, which used to be a major backup, for the Labor Congress in the past.
As Nigeria continues to evolve, so too must its labor movement. The fight for workers' rights is far from over, and the labor movement must once again rise to become not just a protest voice, but the conscience of the nation's progress. In Abuja for News Central, Idong Joseph.
Joseph, thank you so much for that report. We now go on a short break. When we return, Fubara, Wike meet, seek peace for Rivers State. We'll tell you more when we're back. Stay with us. Many thanks for being there. We talk politics now. In a surprising twist, the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has paid a visit to Nyesom Wike, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, at his Abuja residence after a protracted battle that divided the state along two major parallel political lines. Lere Olayinka, the minister's spokesman, confirmed the meeting, which aims at reconciling Fubara with his former boss. The meeting came few days after Fubara's meeting with President Bola Tinubu in London over the Rivers political crisis. President Tinubu had declared an emergency rule in the oil-rich rivers and suspended Fubara and other elected officials for an initial 6 months. President Tinubu had reportedly instructed Governor Fubara to reconcile with Rivers State leaders. Acting on his instruction, Fubara visited Wike's Abuja home alongside a delegation including Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, former Ogun State Governor Olusegun Osoba, and other governors. And now to the east, the National Judicial Council has directed the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, to reverse the appointment of the acting Chief Judge of the state, Justice Theophilus Nzukwe, and appoint the most senior judge as the acting Chief Judge of the state. The NJC, under the leadership of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kikereekun, also directed that Justice Nzukwe should be issued a query to show cause within 7 days, while disciplinary action should not be taken against him for presenting himself to be sworn in as the Chief Judge. Justice Nzukwe was sworn in by Governor Uzodinma as the acting Chief Judge of Imo State on April 4. The swearing-in of Nzukwe came months after the former Chief Judge, Justice Theresa Chikeka, was removed by the National Judicial Council following an indictment for age falsification. Now, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kikereekun, has challenged the Nigerian Bar Association to rise and defend the integrity of the Nigerian judiciary. This is contained in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Chief Justice of Nigeria on Media, Toby Shodiyi. Responding to the call by members of the NBA Bar and Bench Forum for more protection for judicial officers, the Chief Justice of Nigeria states that most of the petitions against judges accusing them of corruption are frivolous, baseless, and unsubstantiated. Justice Kikereekun stated that some people write petitions against judges just to intimidate them. The Chief Justice noted that judges are traumatized after they have been investigated and found to have done nothing wrong. Let's now tell you that the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to release popular businesswoman and socialite Aisha Achimogo within 24 hours following her arraignment on Wednesday. The court also ordered the EFCC report of feedback on May 2. Her arraignment came a day after she was arrested by operatives of the EFCC at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja shortly after she returned from London and was subsequently taken into custody. On Monday, Justice Inyang Ikwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja ordered her to appear before the EFCC on Tuesday and also to appear before the court on Wednesday, April 30, 2025. She had been declared wanted in March by the EFCC over allegations of criminal conspiracy and money laundering. Away from that now, we tell you that Maiduguri residents were jolted awake by a series of thunderous explosions emanating from the Giwa Barracks Armory. The blasts caused by high temperatures in Maiduguri, according to the military, which led to the explosion of some munitions, has sent shockwaves throughout the city, which caused widespread panic. News Central's Morocco completes the report.
Initially, a confusing situation for residents of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Series of loud explosions reverberated the city, which began late on the last day of April and continued into the few hours of May.
You know, this thing happening just accidental. Nobody knows where the thing starts. When we hear shooting, we say, from where? Let us listen, so that we listen attentively to hear where the sound of the gun is. Now we are inside barrack. I said, if it's inside barrack, how can we do? Now we have to sleep here. But some of my friends, they run and leave me, according to what I tell you first.
To jiya dai duk muna kwance da daddare dai wasu dai suka fara kira na tun kafin abin yayi nisa. Irin ya fara tashi kafin lokacin fire service ma ko mota uku ne suka zo. To wasu dai sun kira ni suna ce mun anya ba hari aka ba, na ce kai ni fa ban sani ba, ni ban ji ma me yake faruwa ba saboda ina bacci. To da na tashin da nayi kenan sai na ji karar abin yana ta karuwa. Dan da muka fito ta cikin gida ma kana tsaye in ka ji irin wani abu ɗaya ya fashe sai kaga kamar ma kanku kawai zai yi.
Eyewitnesses reported seeing thick plumes of smoke rising from the barracks with debris scattered across nearby neighborhoods.
Rai bundusa lai aulasa hawar fa suro barikin nan zare kare ga nazande na shi ma konnu cizawa da nan me na aka yi da awar obatu bade wani am sura yelo bade yada da an da gana funye na village alan da ne na modani su din awala su aka yi da awar hamzi ishe na man boye.
Sai mun tashi 12 da rabi ana jama'a mu gudu to ba musamman me yake faruwa ba sai aka ce mana cikin bariki ba lafiya. To mun dauka boko haram ne ma. Sai aka ce a'a sto na kayan yakin su ne ya kama da wuta. To mun ta gudu dai alhamdulillah amma mun ji gaba abun ya sauka. Mun waye gari cikin koshin lafiya alhamdulillah.
The explosion, according to statement issued by the acting deputy director, Army Public Relations Headquarters Theater Command, was due to the current high temperatures in Maiduguri, which led to the explosion of some munitions. The situation has, however, been brought under control with the combined efforts of the federal and Borno State fire services and other fire trucks from security agencies.
The situation is calm, but authorities advise residents to always verify information before sharing it with others so as to avoid causing panic and tension in the society. From the Giwa Barracks area in Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Thank you so much, Mara, for that report. We're still in the north anyway. The Kano State Executive Council has approved the sum of about 51.5 billion naira for critical infrastructure and public service delivery projects across the state. The state governor says that this forms part of the administration's strategic push to enhance socio-economic development in the state. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
This edition of the Kano State Executive Council meeting is holding in the Kwankwasia megacity, a move by the governor Abba Kabir Yusuf expected to encourage citizens with abandoned houses in the estate to relocate to their property. The state governor says that the state will focus on attracting foreign direct investment to the state as well as tackle the current water scarcity affecting residents headlong.
That I understand the difficulties caused by the current water scarcity in the state. We sincerely ask for your patience. Government is doing everything possible in resolving the issue. I have already summoned all stakeholders in the water industry, especially the Honorable Commissioner in charge, the Kano State Water Board's Managing Director, as well as all members of the highly constituted Committee on Water Resources Development in the state. I want to assure everybody that we will do whatever it takes to ensure the availability of water supply in all hooks and corners across the state.
The spokesperson of the governor reeled out resolutions of the meeting, amongst which include 5.5 billion naira for the rehabilitation and asphalt overlay of roads stretching from Mumbaya House to Taludu Junction, Gadenkaya, Yahaya Guso Road, and Sharada Road. 3.4 billion naira for the provision of wireless solar power traffic lights across Kano City under its urban renewal program. Additional funds were also approved for the construction of Mila Road to Mission Road and the renovation of key public facilities, including Kano State Educational Resources Department, the Governor's Lodge in Kaduna, and several others. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
Let's now talk about Nigeria's energy transition. The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Renewable Energy, Ofam Ogene, has urged state governments to adopt the recently unveiled National Integrated Electricity Policy, also known as NIP, to fully leverage the provisions of the Electricity Act of 2023, which empowers states to issue licenses for all electricity-related activities. Speaking to newsmen in Abuja ahead of the upcoming First National Legislative Conference on Renewable Energy in Expo, Ogene says that the adoption of the policy will expand investment opportunities across the states.
The Electricity Act 2023, signed into law in February 2024, permits states to issue licenses for all electricity activities, generation, transmission, distribution, encompassing lawmaking, regulation, and policy development across the entire power sector value chain. The new National Integrated Electricity Policy 2025 provides an even clearer framework that states need to adopt as they set in place their new electricity markets. It is expected that in doing so, renewables will form a large part of the emerging investment.
Away from that, a UK NGO, IA Foundation, has raised 30 million naira to support the education of out-of-school children in Nigeria. The foundation aims to address both access and equity as it continues to work towards ensuring every Nigerian child has access to quality education. News Central's Omolola Ololade tells us more in this report.
Reducing the increasing number of out-of-school children in Nigeria has remained a top priority for both government and non-governmental organizations. Hence, the 6th annual charity gala organized by IA Foundation to support the education of out-of-school children in the country. While funding remains one of the major challenges to reducing out-of-school children in Nigeria, the foundation aims to remove the financial barriers to education, particularly for marginalized groups such as girls, children with disabilities, and those from low-income families. The 30 million naira raised at the fundraiser is expected to bridge the funding gap in Nigeria's education by sponsoring children's tuition, bursary scholarships, and the provision of essential school materials to children across the country's 6 geopolitical zones.
Those of you who have influence in places of power, to influence the government to do something more for out-of-school children. It's not only the elites and children of the wealthy that should have good education. It's a human right and a child's right to have access to good education, good health, and all the other things that we all enjoy.
18.3 million kids are uneducated presently in Nigeria, and the IA Foundation is taking steps to change that, basically having an impact one child at a time. As PSJ UK, to carry on working with the IA Foundation to sound the alarm, get the noise out there, and to bring those who are in the diaspora and Friends of Nigeria to help out with sorting things, pushing things forward in Nigeria.
With the public schools especially, things have not been going, positive for those that can afford to fund themselves through private tuition. So IA Foundation is coming in to try and fill that gap, to plug and sponsor children that are from less privileged backgrounds, to be able to give them an opportunity, a fighting chance in life.
Since its establishment in 2019, IA Foundation continues to be at the forefront of education advocacy, helping hundreds of disadvantaged children return to school and retaining them in school.
Let's now tell you that Mali's military leader, General Assimi Goïta, has won the backing of key political allies to be declared president for the next 5 years. The 41-year-old, who has seized power twice, was named transitional president after his last coup in 2021. He promised to hold elections the following year, but has since reneged in a blow to efforts to restore multi-party rule. A national conference organized by the regime but boycotted by leading opposition parties has now recommended naming General Goita president until 2030. He has not yet commented on the recommendation, but the conference was seen as an attempt to legitimize his bid to remain in power. The Economic Freedom Fighters has condoled with families and associates of the 3 South African police officers whose bodies, along with others of 2 civilians, were recently recovered from the Hinops River in Gauteng. Reports say the 3 officers had left Bloemfontein for Limpopo on Wednesday evening last week and were last seen alive at that time. They were returning to their work days after visiting family in the Free State. The EFF called for a full and transparent investigation into the deaths of these SAPS officers and civilians, saying the country deserved to know whether the deaths were isolated incidents or something criminal. Now, today around the world, workers are celebrating Workers' Day, a day dedicated to honoring the contributions of workers and advocating for workers' rights. But in the streets of Maseru, the capital of Lesotho, the mood is marked differently. Behind the celebrations, many informal workers and traders are expressing a different story, one of hardship and frustration. News Central's Bongani Siziba has more in this report.
Today, the world is celebrating the International Workers' Day, a day dedicated to honoring the contributions of all workers. And I am in the streets of Maseru in Lesotho, a country that has faced its fair share of social and economic challenges. However, it's inspiring to see the determination and spirit of self-employed workers who are thriving in the streets. These self-employed traders hustle every day to provide for their families. They wake up each day uncertain of whether their goods will sell, but they continue to show up, embodying the spirit of hard work and perseverance. So I took time to speak to some of these resilient traders to understand what May Day means to them.
I wouldn't say things are that cozy at the moment because of the issues of economic downturn that the world is experiencing now. And again, we have been affected by the hiking of this taxes by introduction of levies and stuff in Lesotho. So this has adversely affected our business a bit negatively.
Bakeng sa gore re ka kgona gore le ma workers day re ka kgona go enjoy re tlameya go lentse re theoetse ga lakatsa but population ya tšhelete ke yone e fokolang haholo e le goreng ga e hantle
panang le ona kapa diqholotso ke gore mona mo re sebeletsang teng e hlile mosebetsi ya o sa tshwana le hane pele le montse tharo tse fetileng re kgona gore re sebetse empaneng ka moratong covid e bile mathata a tshabang go fihleletse no tje.
As we can see, the spirit of May Day is alive in the streets of Maseru. For these traders, it's more than just a celebration. It's a recognition of their hard work. In a nation striving economic hurdles, these self-employed workers embody resilience and hope for a better future. Their stories is always a reminder to all workers that even if you face challenges, you must celebrate your resilient pursuit to a better life. From Lesotho to Maseru for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
We talk business now. The federal government, through the Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Emirates Airline to enhance tourism in Nigeria. This agreement was formalized at the 2025 Arabian Travel Market in Dubai. The partnership aims to position Nigeria as a premier travel destination in Africa, utilizing Emirates' extensive global network of over 140 passenger destinations. Emirates will promote Nigeria's diverse cultural heritage and natural attractions, from coastal landscapes to vibrant wetlands. The MOU was signed by Emirates Senior Vice Presidents for Commercial Operations Adil Al-Gait and Abiola Abdukarim, the Nigerian Minister's Special Assistant to Sub-National Development, Minister Hannatu Musawa, emphasized that this collaboration will boost economic growth and elevate Nigeria's cultural profile globally. The meeting and agreement also includes support from the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority for marketing initiatives and training programs. Now, the UK's FTSE 100 opened slightly lower on Thursday, while most European markets remain closed for the May 1 holiday. The FTSE 100 fell 0.3% after achieving its longest winning streak since late 2016, with 13 consecutive positive sessions. Notably, stock exchanges in Germany, France, Italy, and Spain were closed. In corporate news, Lloyds Bank saw a 1.8% decline after reporting a nearly 7% profit drop in the first quarter, while house builder Persimmon confirmed its growth targets were on track. Investors are also watching the approval of Banco Sabadell's takeover by BBVA. Despite contraction in the U.S. economy, European sentiment improved, with Eurozone growth exceeding expectations at 0.4% in the first quarter. In sports, Nigeria's Abdul-Jabbar Adama made history at the 16th Africa Junior Swimming Championship by winning gold in the men's 50-meter butterfly and breaking the event's record twice in one day. Competing at the Egypt International Olympic City Aquatic Center, the 19-year-old set a new championship record of 24.19 seconds in the morning heat, then bettered it with a 23.89-second finish in the evening final. The performance marked Nigeria's first gold of the tournament and confirmed Adama's growing status as a continental swimming star. His success follows a personal best of 23.81 seconds at the Aquatics GB Championships in London. With more events ahead, Adama's feat sets a powerful tune for Team Nigeria's medal ambitions in Cairo. Now, Morocco were crowned champions of the inaugural Women's Africa Futsal Cup of Nations after a dramatic 3-2 comeback win over Tanzania in the final at the Prince Moulay Abdullah Sports Complex in Rabat. Tanzania led 2-0 at half-time with goals from Astanazia Katunzi and Jamila Rajabu, but Morocco mounted a fierce second-half comeback. Doa El Madani's penalty before the break sparked momentum, followed by Idrissa Skrobic's equalizer. In the final minutes, Jasmine Demoury scored the decisive goal, securing Morocco's first-ever continental futsal title. The victory also earned Morocco qualification for the 2025 FIFA Women's Futsal World Cup in the Philippines. Tanzania, as runners-up, also secured their place in the global competition. Cameroon claimed third place after beating Angola 4-1. Now, top seed Arena Sabalenka battled past Marta Kostyuk 7-6, 7-4, 7-6, 9-7 in a rain-affected quarterfinal to reach her fourth Madrid Open semifinal. The Belarusian overcame blustery conditions, fought 8 unforced errors, and 3 set points in the second set tiebreak to win. She faces Elena Svitolina next, who extended her clay winning streak to 11 with a 6-2, 6-1 win over Mayuka Uchijima. Iga Swiatek rallied from a 0-6 opening set to beat Madison Keys and set up a clash with Coco Gauff, who downed Mira Andreeva. We talk Formula One now. It has extended its contract with Mexico City, ensuring the high-altitude Grand Prix will remain on the calendar through 2028. F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali praised the race's electric atmosphere, calling it one of the most energetic on the circuit. Held at over 2,200 meters above sea level, the event presents unique engineering challenges affecting turbo performance, cooling, and braking. Local officials expect the 2025 race to inject 21 billion pesos, that's about $1.1 billion into the economy. Since returning in 2015 after a 23-year absence, the Mexico City Grand Prix has become a major sporting and tourism draw. This year's edition will run from October 24 to 26 at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And that's all this hour, but before we go, we'll look at our major stories again. Nigerian workers celebrate May Day amid soaring inflation. Suspended Governor of Rivers, Siminalayi Fubara, visits PK seek peace for the state. Mali's junta chief secures backing of key political allies to be declared president for the next 5 years. Don't forget to send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. While you do that, follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can also watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, StarTimes channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Onobanjo.